I am Marwan Cameron, and this is the Conduit. All right, y'all, you already know it's Monday, December 6th. December 6th. Already the first week of December is already in the books. Woo! Take a breath. It's going fast. It will be 2022 in the blink of an eye. But it is Monday, and you know what we do on Mondays. It's Health Monday, 1 p.m. Of course, you know at 3 we have the Permanent Housing Authority and KCR. So we hope you will tune back in at that time. And another piece of really exciting news is just got done planning a monthly podcast with the Kitsap Regional Library. So stay tuned for that in January. They'll be coming to us once a month on the second Tuesday of the month, right before Deborah's Corner at 3 p.m. So that'll be a lot of fun, really informative. So shout out to the library, shout out to Priya out there. So definitely excited about that. Got a lot of things going on for January. Ooh, I thought I was busy before. Oh boy. January is gonna be on fire. I need to get some kind of a fire sound, huh? All right, but yes, it is our Monday health show. Good afternoon, Mr. Dent. Thank you so much. You know, it's Monday. Should call it like Purple Monday because you know I'm gonna wear purple on Mondays. It's got to go down like that. Very few times will I not wear purple on Monday, but yeah, I'm gonna put my purple on because that's just how I get down. But lots to talk about. As you know, the Omicron variant is sweeping the nation. So I wanted to talk about, give you some information about that, you know, talk a little bit about the vaccines and some events that are coming up so that you are in tuned with that. But, you know, the other thing too is even though we talk about the vaccine, this really is all things health. So we will uh, not just limit it just to the vaccine on Mondays. We'll also sometimes talk about some other things. And, you know, your health is really important. As you know, we had Dr. Yaw on. A shout out to him from the University of Washington and Dante from the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. They've come on twice. They'll be back in January talking about prostate cancer and how important that is. And once we kind of work through, oh, hey, shout out to you, Mark. Once we kind of get through the prostate, we're going to get into, I think, the colon and some other areas. So that's really important. Definitely looking forward to that. But I did want to talk a little bit about my personal health because we're talking about health, and I think that it is a teachable moment. And some of the best lessons come through uh, being that cautionary tale, if you will. So right now, I've got to wear a blood pressure monitor and take my blood pressure in the morning, in the evening, and anytime I don't feel well. So I actually ended up in the ER on Saturday afternoon. I'm pretty stubborn, so I'm my father's child. I drove myself to the ER. I don't recommend that, but it is what I did. Um, but I wanted to go to this breakfast with Rosecco on Saturday, and I wanted to be able to honor that. So my people wanted me to go Friday because Friday felt really bad, and my blood pressure, my high number was 208. Like I'm keeping a chart right now, it's somewhere in here, and I think my top number was 208 over 100 and something. It was like just crazy. Um, and so you know, trying to get that thing together. This is one of the major killers in America: heart attack, stroke, things like that. So, you know, got to take care of yourself. And the reason why I'm kind of touching on that today is we do have a pandemic that is happening in this country right now. So, when you have comorbidities, um, all of the extra things that you have, you know, give you extra risk, right? And so that was the reason ultimately that I decided to become vaccinated, right? Conversations with my internal doctor, who is also my primary doctor, and doing the research that I've done and talking with people that I trust. Um, and I was having a conversation with the girls from Deborah's Corner. Shout out to them on Tuesday, and they were speaking about where they get their information from. We were talking about where do you get your information from. One was saying their father, one was saying they get it from their smartphone and the news that comes in through here. One said that she got her information kind of through social media or through the library. Uh, and so all of those things can be good sources of knowledge, no doubt. But then the question is where do they get their information from, right? And it's kind of like that, the little nesting eggs. How far do you go? Where do they get their information from? And so sometimes we can trust someone, right? There are people that trust me. And so they'll come to me and they'll say, "Hey, Marwan, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And I'll tell them, "All right, well, this is how I feel about this." Um, and oftentimes they don't, because of the trust that I have uh, built with them, right? They won't say, "Well, where did you get your information from? Can you point me toward a source?" And so you can earn that over time, right? Parents typically earn that because they're parents. But sometimes it might be good as you are critically thinking to ask those questions. Well, where does your information come from? Where do you get it? Who's your source? Right? Because sometimes it is really hard to get out of the echo chamber. So you can get caught in this echo chamber, right? Facebook is really good for that, where you've got your friends and all of these algorithms and whatnot is designed to give you what you think you want. And so it happens all the time. I'm scrolling on a website and all of a sudden I see an ad for a sweater vest. And it's like, how did they know I like sweater vests? It's like, because you searched from it before and they're looking and combing over all your data and they're giving you back what you're searching for, right? So maybe I don't want sweater vests. Maybe I want, regular sweaters. That is the echo chamber. It can be really hard to break out of if you aren't cognizant that you're in the matrix. You know, Mark says if you don't trust the CDC, look for information at the World Health Organization. Yeah, I think those are definitely good. And I think too. I was having this conversation with some folks. I think over the weekend, and one of the things that come to my mind is I think about uh, who who benefits, right? Who would benefit from lying, right? So let's go down the rabbit hole just for a second. It's the new world order and the redistribution of wealth and everything else, and population control and all these things. Mm. Shout out to my daughter Layla. I think she made this cup when she was 3. One of my favorite cups. Uh, if that was the case, and they wanted to give you this vaccine so that they can control the population, hit a switch, do whatever, right? We hear all kinds of things. The people that resist and don't take the vaccine, do you really think those are the ones that they want to be left? The ones that are contrarian and fought against the government and the powers, against the cabal, against the Illuminati, whatever the case may be? Is that really your thought? I think those would be the people that they would actually want to get rid of, right? Because ultimately the people in power want to control other people. So that's the one first thing that I think. The second thing that I think is, okay, and again, that echo chamber. For us, our echo chambers could be, our friends and our family. That's where we get our information. That's all we trust. Our friends, our family, our church, right? Those are the only things that we trust. It could be, the local news, right? And that's what I trust. I trust Como 4 because it's local, but I don't trust MSNBC or Fox News because it's national. It could be national. I don't trust CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, right? I don't trust anyone. It's fake news. That's why last Monday I looked at information, news sources from outside of our country right? Trying to break out of, all of these nested echo chambers to see what the rest of the world was saying. We don't get along as Americans. It makes holidays so entertaining. Facts. We don't get along as Americans. We have, I mean, we have conflict right now with Russia as they are amassing troops. We have issues with China as they are, seem like they're doing some things with Taiwan right now. Right? We don't get along with each other. So some cabal worldwide is going to get the whole world to go along to get along. We know we can't keep secrets with ourselves. So to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Looking at the Guardian is pretty good. Looking at conspiracy theories, or just looking at it and analyzing it through that lens, right? Not research based, just trying to process the world. So, that's what I'll say about that. But I had a conversation with my doctor, and he's been my doctor for about 15 years. Shout out to Dr. Herman. As you know, I'm pretty outward about my health, right? I have a autoimmune called sarcoidosis that affects my lungs primarily. Um, I was really sick at one point in my life, in my adult life. Didn't work. I was really in a bad place. But it affects your lungs, and so ultimately, well, your lungs have already been compromised. uh, COVID attacks the lungs. And you kind of weigh in the things. You got to look at it, and you can have your concerns about the vaccine, and there is no medicine that has no side effects or no issues, right? Some are gonna, a certain amount of the population is going to be affected by this or that or the other. But it was the best decision that I can make for my individual health. So that's why I got vaccinated, and that I talk about it, and not under the lens of you need to get vaccinated, but do your research, make the best decision for yourself, and understand what's going on, and try not to fall into the trap of what people try to get you to go down. But as you know, this is the Kitsap Public Health District. This is their website, Kitsap, so far away from me, kitsappublichealth.org. And again, you can just scroll down and take a look at the COVID-19 updates and resources. You can book a COVID-19 vaccine. And there's a lot of other good information on this website. As I was saying before, food safety and just regular information, just FYI. Uh, might be a good idea for you to peruse it one day just to check it out. But if we go ahead and we just click on the picture here, we can scroll down and we can take a look at all the different data dashboards that they have, right? So here's some COVID-19 updates and information from the CDC, steps to protect your health. So this is where you will find, the latest information on Omicron and what's going on with Delta. If you want the latest outbreak information, you can click here. Let's go ahead and click in there. And so this just talks about, and this hasn't been updated since the last time we checked in here. So, and this was just showing where some of these outbreaks were in the past and how many cases. I don't know if there's still, outbreaks with 10 or more cases last updated December 2nd. Okay. So this is updated. And so if it's closed, I guess that is done. So I don't see any here, or they've all been closed. All right. East Bremerton Walmart. It's kind of good to look there. So that's good, right? Numbers have been nice and low. Let's go ahead and go back. If you're looking for healthcare resources, some good stuff there. Some business and organization guidance. And so if you run an organization or a company, there's a lot of good information here. As I was saying before, G2, make sure that we're up to date on that. If you're looking for information for youth and schools, you can click on this one here. Let's go ahead to our data dashboards. And here we can get the daily surveillance report. Okay. And this is updated weekdays. And let's go ahead and click into that. Right now, we're looking at cases per 100,000 per 7 days is 101. And the percent of total population initiating the vaccination is 69.3%. And this includes the Department of Defense. And this is updated on Tuesday. So this will be updated tomorrow, I would assume. And here we can look at the total geographic region, the rates of COVID cases per 100,000 in the past 7 days. Now, this is going to show us, the entire time of COVID. And you can tell with more testing, you see those numbers are going to go up. Again, here is a super peak, September 13th, right? 877 cases. And then here we're at 101. So just kind of looking back, this is December 1st at 101. Let's look back at the last December, see if we can't find that. All right, so we're doing a little bit better than we were last December. So all this information is right here, but that's still up, right? We're not here in our lows. Look at how nice and low that is. 73, 68. What did I see? 50, 63, 58 there. Nice and low, right? So we can look at the trend as usual, as you hear me talk about pretty often, right? School started, we get a blip. We come up on Halloween, and then we get a spike, right? And now we've got Thanksgiving, and now we're back on the uptick. As you can see in that little swatch here, just trying to get my little pointer over there and not put it in the way. But you can see there was a dip here, and now we're shooting back up, right? And so this is kind of that lag from Thanksgiving. And so unfortunately, we can look back past. The past tells us typically what's going to happen in the future if we don't change our behavior or what we do. So this is very clear. Total cases in isolation are 129, and this is current as of the 5th of December, which was yesterday, and 252 deaths in the county, which is, of course, unfortunate. All right. So again, I want to be clear when I give you opinion or thought versus giving you fact, right? These are facts. This is data that is collected by our public health district and then presented to everyone to see. Here again, new hospitalizations by the week of admission. This was updated December 2nd, so just a few days ago. Now, here, in the past 30 days, unvaccinated people aged 12 to 59 were 11.2 times more likely to be hospitalized for COVID-19 than those fully vaccinated. Unvaccinated people aged 60 or above were 6.1 times more likely to be hospitalized for COVID than those who are fully vaccinated. So, again, to be clear, the vaccine is not going to prevent you from getting COVID. What it will likely do at a rate of right now, 11.2 times more, is keep you out of the hospital, right? And if you're not in the hospital, then you've got an even lower chance of perishing from this pernicious disease. Those numbers, I think they should talk more about nationwide, right? And so a lot of misinformation is, oh, well, what's the point in being vaccinated if you're just going to get COVID anyway? Yeah, you might still get COVID. It's just you're 11 times more likely not to wind up in the hospital, which means you're going to have a milder case. And I truly believe that I was part of that 11%, right? I got COVID after I had both of my Moderna shots. I did actually get really sick, but I do really believe sincerely that had I not been vaccinated, I would have ended up in the hospital or I may have have died as a result. So that I truly believe. Mark says those who do not remember the past are destined to repeat it. George Setiana, how you say that? That's facts. Big facts there. Again, percent of cases hospitalized per month. You can see how high that was in March of last year. March of this year was at 4%, right? So it was 4 times higher. But we had this peak in October, and we're coming down a little bit in November. But as you can see here, our numbers are starting to creep back up there, right up in that corner. But these are the actual numbers for the past month here in the county. And these are the average age of cases hospitalized per month. Okay. And we know what averages are, right? You take all the people's ages together and then you divide it to get the average age. So typically older, but it doesn't mean that, you know, everyone was 70. Doesn't mean everyone was 54. There had to be a number of people that were younger than 54 that were hospitalized. And we know that because, well, here in the last month, 12.8 folks that were unvaccinated were hospitalized. So we know exactly what that number is, who was under the age of 12 to 59. I know for some folks, you know, they don't want to look at graphs. And it's like, oh, man, what is this saying? That's why I think it's good to talk about it. COVID-19 deaths per 100,000 for those that were fully vaccinated, that's 0.03, 30 to 69. This is here in the county. So not even a full one. Unvaccinated, 4.4. If you're over 70 and you're fully vaccinated, 4.2 people passed away in the past 180 days. If you were unvaccinated, almost triple. And so I'll read the paragraph here because that's describing these numbers that you're seeing. In the past 180 days, people aged 30 to 69 who were not fully vaccinated were 14.9 times more likely to die from COVID than people who were fully vaccinated. That's almost 15%, folks. Among people aged 70 years and older, those who were fully vaccinated were 2.6 times more likely to die from COVID than people who were fully vaccinated. That's important to me. That's important for the people that I care about, the people that I love, my immediate family, my extended family, my neighbors. So for me, these are very meaningful numbers. And there's nothing political about these numbers. They're just numbers. Youth and school metrics. Again, all of this stuff is updated every Thursday. COVID case rate per 100,000 in the past 7 days. Youth aged 5 to 18 is in the solid line versus the general populated, which is the filled area in Kitsap. So we could watch the kids here start to spike, take a dip, kind of raise up there. And right now they're on an uptick. Now, as to the time of this podcast, there is no Omicron outbreaks that we know of, that I've heard of. But Omicron is here in the state of Washington. And what they are saying is that it is more infectious, but the jury is still out as to is it more deadly and how this mutation and its variants are going to affect the population. But if you remember last weekend, you know, the weekend after Thanksgiving, it was, oh goodness, South Africa has had a few cases. And then you look up and it was everywhere, right? And Monday or today is when I guess Biden is shutting down travel, right? You know, Mark, all I can see is George Costanza. I don't know why, but that just tickles me. But percent vaccinated for 5 to 18-year-olds by geographic region of Kitsap. So as you can see, Bainbridge Island children are being vaccinated at some pretty high numbers who have initiated it, and half of those that are completed. Bainbridge is pretty much double everywhere else, almost double of North Kitsap. Double. Again, these are the hard numbers. What can you infer from this? Can you infer anything from this? I know folks tend to say that this is a pretty well-to-do city, right? Wealthier people tend to live in Bainbridge Island as a whole, right? Bremerton be lower income. So again, let's pull back from facts and now go toward just thinking. Ideas. What do you think this says? What this says to me is wealthy people believe in the vaccine. And there are some wealthy and powerful people that live on Bainbridge. 82% is huge. So why are the wealthiest being vaccinated and vaccinating their children, but the lowest demographics as far as earnings or wealth are not? Is it accessibility? Is it education? Is it different information? What is it? Mark says, which is somewhat amusing when you realize that Bainbridge was a naval dump. Well, people do anything to be around water. It has a lot to do with education and access. So what is the different information that they're getting? I know they have this information here. We actually all have this. You know they have this information. As far as access, organizations have, done everything they can to provide opportunities to have pop-up clinics and make it as accessible as possible. To that end, you can call Gather Together, Grow Together. And if you want the vaccine, we actually will provide you free transportation. Save your gas if you have a vehicle. Go to Walmart or to the grocery store and get your vaccine there. You could do your shopping, take care of some business, and let us do the driving for you. So folks are trying to address the challenges around education and access. So what's missing? What's missing there? Whoops. I was going to show a video. Another thing that I like is VSafe actually reached out and contacted me. So I got my booster. Oh, I may not be. Let me see if I can send the code again. So they sent this the other day. I wanted to do this with you. So one of the ways that they get their information is folks that participate and provide that information so they can best serve folks, which is helpful. And so if you remember, I was doing this way back when I first was getting vaccinated. And then when I did have the breakthrough COVID, I was putting in my symptoms. So here, have you received additional dose of the COVID-19 vaccine into your vaccine information? And oh, look at that. It's got the dates that I received it. So my first dose was May 8th, and then my second dose was in June. And then how many doses have you received? 3. And I did receive the Moderna, and I did not receive it December 6th. Let me just grab my card here because I keep it handy unless I moved it. And just to show you, I have a few copies of it, and I have it laminated just in case it gets wet. I don't want to go through whatever the process is if you lose your card. I don't want to deal with that. And so, oh, here it is. So I have 2 copies, and the only bad thing was because I got it laminated, they had to put a sticker. Let me see if I get a little closer there on the outside of my laminated card, but that is my 3rd dose. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that in, which was 11:20. And I did go in a little bit earlier than my time. Did you receive any other vaccine on this date? No, but I did get my flu shot the week previous. I did not want to get both shots. Yes, I agreed to receive health check in reminders from the system. Yes, and submit. And so they're telling me my previous activity of when they send me the daily health check-ins. And then you can look at your profile. I won't click on that. I like sharing stuff, but I probably shouldn't share everything. All right. So let me see if I clicked on the right one. I'm going to say send the code again. See if they sent it to me. All right. This time it is 994452. And here I can view my profile, add a dependent. And maybe I'll click off of there. Maybe I shouldn't have my code on there. All right. So I think there's nothing to show on that side there. But doing that check-in is very helpful, right? So they have the most accurate information. And I know what information they have, so I can track it. I'm not worried about, oh, this information is not accurate or something different than what's happened. I could look at my card and it matches. So that makes me feel good. It's accurate. It also is nice because if I don't have this, it looks like I could go to that link and look at my profile and maybe print something out that would show that I was vaccinated. But I do recommend making a copy. I lose things. I lost my wallet Thanksgiving evening. So having copies is a lifesaver. This is not something I want to try to figure out how to replace, although I should probably talk about it at one point in time, might be helpful. So I did want to share those things with you. And then there's a few special pop-ups that are coming up here in the near future. And pull those up. So you have those. I just gotta find it here. 'Cause of course, I can't remember the exact date, so I don't want to give you the wrong date. But Deborah Jackson, shout out to her, as a pop-up event. I believe it is on the 21st. And I'm just checking her site now. She's advertising for her big event in February. So I don't see it on here. What I'll do is I will post it later and get a flyer from her because I don't have one. Oh, oh, look at that. I said I don't have one, and what pops up right when I was getting ready to give up? Don't give up, folks. It'll work for you. Just hang in there. All right, let me get this up on the screen here. All right, so December 23rd, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. 'Tis the season. Don't let COVID be the reason. While you're waiting on St. Nick, make sure you don't get sick. On-site COVID-19 vaccination pop-up clinic. And again, this is through Surviving Change, which is Deborah Jackson's organization. For registration questions, contact Surviving Change Kitsap at gmail.com, or you can call 360-471-0865. And that pop-up clinic will be at the Sinclair Baptist Church, 4900 Auto Center Boulevard, Bremerton 98312. Again, this is the Christmas giveaway, Thursday, December 23rd, 2021, 5 to 7 p.m. You can get on-site COVID-19 vaccine. There'll be a pop-up clinic there. I believe there's going to be food there. I will definitely be there, and not just because of the food. I'll be there to support. So yeah, come on down, set your calendars for that. And if you need a ride, again, give us a call, 360-373-3000. If you are going to get vaccinated, we can make sure that you get there. Okay. There is one other event that is coming up that I was trying to find before showtime and was having a problem finding it. Let me see if I can see that quickly. All right, looks like this is it here. So the Marvin Williams Center is in collaboration with some community partners holding a COVID-19 vaccination site. The first dose was yesterday, and the necessary second dose is, oh, this is old. Okay. So I know that they are doing another event, but I don't have any information for them. I believe it may be on the 17th of December. So we'll be back next Monday. So once I get that information, I will share that out. But right now, do make sure that you earmark Miss Deborah's. Shout out to her. Of course, you know, tomorrow at 5 p.m. is Deborah's Corner. So don't miss that. Always a great show. Be healthy, folks. It's cold and flu season, but the new normal seems to be it's COVID season too. There's a new variant moving around fast. They don't know what it's going to do yet. So take care of yourself. Take care of your family. And stay warm. One last thing that I should probably point out. The cold winter shelters are now open. So again, if you need transportation, you can give us a call. 360-373-3000. I believe snow is in the forecast next week on top of everything else. So please definitely get the word out, let people know so that we can get them to a shelter. All right. Well, as you know, I will be back at 3 p.m. with Mark Garrett from KCR and Jill Stanton of Bremerton Housing Authority. I hope to see you then. I'm R1 Cameron. This is The Conduit. Till next time.